How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to City Skylines Nerdköping. I certainly hope you're having a good one because I am excited to be back. I asked you in the last episode what you thought of the microphone that I was using to record that episode, and, well, the good news is, like I expected, most people couldn't tell a difference. The bad news is that the headphone section, the bit that I hear on that headset that I was using, was garbage to the extent that I couldn't hear parts of songs that I would listen to. Half of the solo in Dance Macabre by Ghost, I couldn't hear it. Parts of riffs in Trivium songs I couldn't hear. So I thought, you know what? As great and convenient as it is having a headset microphone, I'm back to using my old one. Not that it matters, but I just thought I would give you an update for those of you that did chime in and comment on the quality of the microphone in the last episode. I know a few people mentioned that there were issues with plosives and the microphone being too close to my mouth, which it absolutely was. Shouldn't be an issue with the microphone I'm using now, which, if you're curious, is a Neumann TLM 103. I get questions all the time about my hardware, and I do have a specs page on my website, but I've been meaning to add it to the description of videos. Anyway, there have been some changes since the last episode. Let's go ahead and just dive in and take a look at them. So obviously, last time we built this farm, and I was so pleased to see how many of you absolutely loved this little farm. I love it too, so it makes me happy that we both have that in common. It's kind of nice. I did ask for names for farms, and one of the suggested names was Riverside Meadows, which I thought was kind of lovely. But since then, I also built this farm, which is named this, which I'm not going to try and pronounce, but it is Swedish for Green Hills Farm. At least that's what Google Translate tells me. This was suggested in the comments of the previous episode as well. The name, the English translation was a little different in the comments, but I put it through Google Translate and it said Green Hills Farm, so I thought that was a beautiful name, and it stays in line with the, what do you call it, the Swedishness, I guess, of Nerdköping and Gronstad and all that. I'm not going to try and pronounce them in an accent at all, but, you know, I figured it was a beautiful name. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more farms that I am going to build at some point. I've placed in the main buildings so far. They are all individual districts or zones as well. Absolutely going to build all of those at some point, so if you have any suggestions for any farm names, absolutely throw those into the comments below, and I will absolutely get some of those added in. And just thinking about these farms at the moment, I did obviously, you know, build this new roundabout here, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I could probably do something kind of interesting. Because if I go ahead and I make this industrial zone into an actual district, which is going to be kind of annoying because it's technically going to have 2 names on it. But if I make it an actual district and put an old town policy on there, let me just show you what I'm thinking here. Right? So we paint this out. I want to get it right. Oh my God. I want to get it right. I want it to stick to the roads all nice like. So just like that. And then, you know, fill up the middle part. It's going to be called Park Square, apparently. That's fine. You know what? It's not going to be called that. It's Park. Industrial Park. There you go. That's, if you know, you know. All right. If you know, you know. The reason I want to do that though is because I want to go to policies. I want to go to Old Town, and then I'm going to connect this roundabout to Park, Industrial Park, and Bedford Mining because I might as well. I figure it's not going to be so bad with the Old Town policy. I don't imagine there's going to be much traffic coming in. Well, we have this connection up here as well, but I think I'm just going to do it because I can. And I don't think I'm going to put a roundabout or anything. Well, why not? Let's do a little roundabout. Let's do 4 and 4. And then we can just go ahead and get our one-way road, which will be, let's see, I guess this one right here. So 4 like this, and like this, like this, and like this. Take out the middle sections. We have a beautiful little roundabout going the wrong way. I forgot I had right-hand drive traffic on this, don't I? Wait, I have... Why? Oh, no, I know where I'm getting confused. I know where I'm getting confused. Sorry, excuse me. I know where I'm getting confused on this. Hold on, does that mean this is wrong as well? Yeah, it does. Okay, there we go. I don't actually know why I got confused on this. I'm genuinely not too sure, but anyway, we've got that sorted. Let's go ahead and throw in a nice little straight section of road there. Let's throw a nice little straight section of road about there. And then we'll bring this sort of out here. We can turn on guidelines and we can just bring this over like that. So that can be the road that connects those two areas. We're going to want to set these up properly. So like that and like that. And we're probably also going to want to make sure the speed limit on the roundabouts isn't too crazy, which I don't think it is. It's 65 there. It's 60 there. Yeah, we're going to want to lower this probably to about 55, just so it's not too nuts. But that should be fine. That'll give us a connection from here to everywhere else, I guess. It might take a little bit away from this junction, perhaps. I don't really know what it's going to do. If anything, I imagine it's just going to put more traffic on these country roads, which are already pretty busy. To be honest, they're a fair bit busier than I'd planned them being, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. Now, speaking of other changes, I also decided to start filling in this area up here because I did mention that I wanted to put more industry in here, and I figured what we would do is we would put in some factories. So we have a lemonade factory here, which is taking crops from the farms and then glass from the mining area, and it's making lemonade. We have this right here, which is bringing in animal products, which thinking about it, it might not be bringing in animal products because I don't think I have any branches, but it's eventually going to make pastries, and that's going to be fantastic. This is just a factory. And then this right here is also just a warehouse. This is also just a warehouse, which I think we'll just put unique factory products into. This down here is the good old fish factory, which I figured we'd put into the area as well, just because we can. And I guess since we're in a situation where we do need animal products, I should probably fill out one of these farms. So let's go ahead and say Briarwood Plantation, which is going to need change to Briarwood Ranch for the time being. Let's say that this can be where we put a bunch of animals. So let's go into here. Let's go to farming and let's see what we have, because we do have some of the medium, I think. Do we have medium-sized animal pastures? I actually don't think we do. What do I need for that? A level 5 farming area? I do only have the small ones, don't I? I didn't know that animal pastures didn't go small, medium, large. They're just small and large. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's fine. I guess we're just going to do a bunch of small ones. And where's the divide in these farms? Okay, it's right there. Let's try and extend you by just a little bit then. So out to about there is about as far as I'm willing to go. And then I guess we can do... I don't really know, to be honest. This entire road's kind of curved, which is not going to serve itself too well to a bunch of very square pastures. So let's bring this out to about there. And then I guess we could bring this over to about there. And then we can kind of curve them around and go from there. So let's do 10 by... we'll do... Maybe not 10 by 10. Let's do 5 by 5 for this first one. So 5 by 5 there. And then this guy can come down to about there. And I think we could just curve that into something kind of decent looking. So 5 and 6, and that's fine. So that'll give me room to do the various animal pastures that I want. So let's go ahead and start throwing some in. Let's just do... Well, do I want them right in front of the house is the question. I'm kind of more inclined to do them down here to start with. So 1 and 2 there. And I'm going to slightly offset them just to make it a little bit more visually interesting. And then we'll do a couple around here as well. That sounded really pretentious. Gonna offset them to make them more visually interesting. Why do I always do that? I swear, almost every episode of City Skylines, I'm talking about something. I say something, and then I think about what I've just said in my head, and I'm like, wow, I am pretentious when I want to be. And it's not even that I want to be. Let me just roll back on that. It's not even that I want to be pretentious. I just am, and I don't like it. I don't know. Oh my God. Not only have I got this weird accent, I've got the weird way of just saying things. Which, to be fair, has been a constant in my life. I do have a weird way of saying things from time to time. But this, I think, is a good start. I'm actually going to shuffle these guys down by 1 if it will let me, which it doesn't seem to want to. So let's just bulldoze them. Because I want to bring this out here. Because I'm going to try and avoid putting pastures directly in front of the house. Now, these are in front of it, but they're certainly not, you know, directly in front of the house. So we can get away with a little something like that. And this space in here can have various utilities and all that kind of stuff. We'll just have these guys sort of snap together there, which actually turned out really nicely. And I think what I'll do is get a 135 angle there. We'll get a 135 there. So these two roads are now parallel. Bring this out a little bit. And I can put some various, you know, functional buildings up there as well. So let's see what we can do. That's actually in the other farm. This might need to not be a farm on its own. I'll see. But let's just go ahead and cut that off then. So we'll just sort of do this. And I think that'll be fine. And we'll extend this one up to about here. Go in a nice straight line like that. Kind of bring it down, fill it in, and just cut it. And just cut you as well, because that's ever so slightly annoying. Okay, so Briarwood Ranch is more or less set up in a decent little way. Like I said, though, I want other buildings in here, so let's see what we have. Now, this is a flour mill. We're not really going to want that. This is a cattle shed, which, truth be told, could go sort of up in the corner. I think that's kind of a decent little spot for it. And then over here, we could do a milking parlor and we could do a slaughterhouse. Now, the slaughterhouse, it does need to be in an industry area. The milking parlor does as well. I'm inclined to say that the milking parlor can go up there, because I just feel like that's going to be a little bit more pleasant than a slaughterhouse right here. I don't know how I feel about that. So milking parlor right there. And if I'm completely honest, I kind of do want another one of these fields in here. So let's just place it there. Let's use move it to kind of shuffle it. And I might have to use move it in all of these to kind of put the fences right together. And then just kind of shuffle them so they all fit. Something like that. And I actually kind of like that idea. So let's just really quickly use move it to be really cheeky. There we go. Briarwood Ranch is looking decent. It's by no means completely finished, but it has a lot of animals, and they're really loud as well. You come down in here and they just don't stop. They really don't stop. I'm just gonna zoom out again on that because good lord. We have the milking parlor over here. We have maintenance buildings. We have barracks and all that good stuff. And like I said, it's not quite finished, so I do want to go in there at some point and detail it more with, you know, more dense trees and all that stuff. But I don't think we're going to do that until all of the farms are done. The good news is, though, that should allow the bakery to get working so that pastries will start getting made, which is fantastic news. Now, admittedly, we're trucking things across the entire bloody map at this point to get from the farms to the factories, but I like that. I'm not going to lie. And plus, if traffic's doing what I hope it's doing, we're going to see vehicles going from the ranch, taking the highway the entire way around everything, and then using this as a means to get in. Or sorry, well, maybe that, or alternatively this. I guess they could go around and use this or do whatever. I'm just hoping that they're using the highway to get in to the city. If they're not, then that's going to be a bit of a pickle. But you know, I'm gonna live in hope is what I'm gonna do. Now, what I'm also gonna do is take a little bit of a look into factories and just make sure I've not missed anything that I could build right now. Obviously, electronics require plastics, which requires oil, and we don't have an oil industry right now. We could, if we really wanted to, we could set up an oil industry in the hills. But on this map, oil is, that's where the snow texture is coming from. So it might be a little, well, I say it might be weird. It might look kind of cool having, this is blindingly bright. I will admit, this is, oh my God, no, that actually hurts my eyes. Yeah, I'm inclined to say that we don't do oil up in the hills, and I'm inclined to say that we maybe do oil off the coast, if that's going to be an option. I don't actually know if I can get offshore oil drilling anytime soon. I really actually don't know. We have the barracks. That's a level 4. So hold on a minute. I guess we give it a shot, huh? I guess let's try building some oil industry. I'm also going to go into options and cloud and fog toggler, turn off the edge fog there so I can actually see what I'm doing out here. Because there is a good amount of oil in that water. So yeah, I guess let's build ourselves a little bit of an oil industry here. Let's start by going in with a decent sized brush with a good bit of strength and just taking out all of these trees. Because this is going to have to be kind of a, I kind of want to just completely custom build this area. It's also going to have to connect to, oh my God, it might have to connect to this little regional road here. That might be a disaster in itself. I guess it could connect to the regional road and also through a tunnel towards the highway there. And it does have a train line along it as well, so it's kind of a good place for it. But yeah, let's go in here. Let's grab a slightly smaller brush. Let's go for about that height, and let's just level this out to, oh, it's going to be really, really low down. I do kind of want it to be, though. Maybe not quite that low. But I do want it to be relatively low so that I can have the boats not looking weird or whatever. If there are boats, I don't really remember how offshore oil works in City Skylines. But I'm going to do this in such a way as to have it look like a dock, you know, a proper kind of dock built out here. So we're going to bring this right out to about there. And I think that's probably far enough. And then what I want to do is I want to extend this out to maybe a little bit further than that, maybe to about there. And we'll bring it over. We're going to put some roads onto this, and we can, you know, put some keys around it and have that be sort of a functional sticky outy bit of the docks there. And I'm actually inclined to say that we can come out a little bit further and have sort of a weird sticky outy angly bit there. So something like that. I'm not really sure if it's realistic or not, but I think it's going to look cool. And that's honestly what I want more than anything else here. And that does, I think, stick out into the oil area. I'm not going to use any land-based oil buildings, though. I think that's cheating a little bit too much. So, gonna just do this kind of thing. Now, let's figure out what we're doing with roads. And I guess what we can do here is I can use roads to further sort of guide my my keys and whatnot. So bring this out to, let's say about there. That's 30 units. Let's angle this to I guess 145 is the angle. I would rather it was 135 though. So let's do 135 and 30 there. And I guess what I can do is I can just flatten this entire area and then cut it all back afterwards. So we'll bring this up in size a bit. We'll just flatten this entire thing kind of like that. And then what I'll do is I'll go in with keys, and I kind of want to use something that's going to look interesting. I feel like the steel wall is kind of the most interesting key that I have, to be honest. So I think we'll use it. So we'll have our guidelines. We'll come out. I think 10 is probably far enough. So we'll do this, and we'll do this, and we'll do something like this as well. So that'll give us a nice big chunk of space. Over this way, that's about 10. So it's going to come down here, and it's going to come down here. And then this is just going to be a nice little curve like so. And this is going to be a nice big curve like so. Actually, looking at that, I feel like those should maybe just be sort of running straight into each other if I can get them to do that. So 14, 14. Yeah, I think I prefer that. So can I do the same over here? Can I have you just sort of run like that? Yeah, I think that looks much better. It's a massive, massive chunk of land, but I think that looks much better. So on this side, let's go for, let's say 50. On this side, let's just come straight down about 20. And then I want to just grab everything. So all nodes and segments get grabbed right here. And we're going to level everything to that height there. So that gives us a nice, decent chunk of land to play with. All I got to do now is bring it all in and kind of level it all off and make it look a little bit less terrible than it does right now. Okie dokie. So this looks a fair bit neater. We've got the roads in here and all that good stuff. We have a highway connection, I guess. This connects back to a little roundabout I built here. So technically it can connect to the town, and then technically it can go down this way and connect to the highway. I imagine I'm going to need an actual highway connection at some point, but for the time being, it's fine. And then I guess what we do is we go in and we paint this all as an oil industry area. I'm not too sure how well this is necessarily going to work, but we're going to try it anyway. So this is going to come up and snap to there. This is going to come down to about there. And then this is going to just go around all of these roads as well. And I'm going to sincerely hope that this works out well. I'm hoping that I have some kind of offshore oil building of sorts that I can play with. So we have that right there, and yeah, we just have small oil pumps, which I don't really want. I gotta be honest, the oil pumps are just, they're not at all what I'm looking for. I want something offshore, but I guess okay, right, here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do, and I'm not proud of it. It's kind of cheating. I'm going to use the small pumps just over here where there is oil, right? There is a good bit of oil there. As soon as we get something that lets us go ahead and use offshore stuff, which I'm almost certain exists. I am right in this. Yeah, offshore oil drilling platform, and then large oil drilling rig. This doesn't go in the... Yeah, that doesn't go in water either. But we do have something that can go in the water, so that's fine. Maybe this does go in water. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Regardless, once we get to level 5, we'll go ahead and we'll get rid of everything that's slightly cheaty here, because I'm not exactly very thrilled about having to sort of cheat to do this. As much as that might be difficult to believe. You know, I'm not exactly thrilled about it, but we're going to do it as a means to an end. So put all these roads out here. Go ahead and select all of these. Object height, boom. Get rid of you in the middle. And to be totally honest, this probably should just be a one-way road, but we'll see what happens. So let's do 1, 2. Let's do 3, 4. And let's just leave a decent little gap between a bunch of these so that they're not all right next to each other. And that right there should be fine. If I really wanted to, I mean, I could do, let's say that, and I can go ahead and put a couple more of these guys in here, which I guess, you know, we might as well do just to try and get this thing to level up as quickly as possible. That is an interesting area for sure. Obviously no water or anything like that right now. But that's a relatively easy fix. We'll just go around like this. We'll go to, not quite there. We'll go like this. And bring this entire thing the whole way around the area and just connect it to whatever the closest set of pipes is going to be. So closest set of pipes, probably the farms. So right to about there. And that'll give us water, and that gives us sewage, which is fantastic. They do need power as well out here, so let's throw... I don't really know. We could throw in some of the offshore turbines. Might not be a bad idea. Be a little bit interesting to do something like 1, maybe 2, and 3. And then maybe bring these guys out a little bit like that. And something like that. And then maybe another one just there. I don't really want to keep these long term, but that just makes it look like a bit more of a factory type area, which I'm keen for. And then in terms of everything else, so this is going to do what exactly? It produces petroleum. Oh, wow. These are tiny little buildings as well. Good Lord. Okay. That's fine. We can do a bunch of these, I suppose. So we'll do, I guess, maybe a road dedicated to them. So a road right there. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm probably going to regret doing so many of them, but we're going to do that many anyway. And then over here, we'll do a straight road like this. I just want to extend you a little bit so you look a little bit more connected there. And then on that road, we can go ahead and throw in some of the storage for the area. Now, these guys actually don't fit very nicely at all, which is kind of frustrating. So let's do, I guess, sort of a dedicated road for them there. So 1, 2, and 3. And we'll bring that up to about there. And I think that'll be fine. That's a decent little area for oil. And just to try and fill in the space there, because we do have some complaints about there not being power, I'm just going to do a multi-story parking lot. You know, I imagine people coming out here are going to have to, you know, they've got somewhere they need to park. So there we go. And I don't think we have any other buildings that I can place out here right now. So yeah, I think that's fine as is. We're probably going to see a lot of traffic rather coming out here. And actually looking at it, I think this might not be a bad idea. Let traffic kind of, or force traffic to use this road down here to go about, which means you get deleted and you get extended to right about there. So that'll hopefully stop traffic from, you know, backing up because of a tiny little intersection there. And that'll just let the oil area kind of do its thing. So what does it need to level up? It needs more work, or sorry, it needs more production, which, I mean, it's producing super quickly. So I think it'll level up pretty nicely. And hopefully sooner or later, we can get ourselves a really cool looking, what the hell is all of that? Oh, that's, oh God, that's the oil coming through. It's going to, oh, this whole area is going to turn bright white, isn't it? Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. I forgot about that. Well, that's useful. It has at least leveled up. Okay. Right. So this, we are going to just need more production. So let me just throw, I guess, a few of these guys in here. So one there and one there and one there and there, and a bunch of them in like that. What is this? Oil Industry Workers Barracks. Okay, we can do one of these, I guess, or a couple of these, possibly. If they fit anywhere, which they kind of don't. I guess we could put a road here. We can get rid of the multi-story parking lot, because that is actually just going to attract tourists, which is not really what we want. And there's the Workers Barracks, and that should give us a power connection as well, which it does. So that's the Workers Barracks. To level this thing up further, we just need more production. We have almost got the workers for it, so that's fine. We actually do have the workers for it. So yeah, it's just a matter of production is what it is. Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do then. Let me move some of these pumps to the outside of that road to take some of the traffic away from that same loop there, because I think that might be beneficial for us. And I'm also going to do this, 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 and this. And now we have, again, kind of ridiculous oil production, but that's probably going to benefit us in the long term. Now, looking into factories, do we have anything currently unlocked? What is this? Household plastic factory. So it needs petroleum and it needs plastics is what it needs. Now, are plastics made in the oil thing? Maintenance building, large oil pump. That's that thing. That's the petrochemical plant. Now, this is where we make plastics, which is fantastic news. So, what I reckon we do is we can put a few of these guys just sort of out here and have a couple of different, you know, we have this area now making plastics for us, which is fantastic. So that's going to let us make plastics, which means that I can go into factories. I can put in the household plastic factory, and I can also put in the electronics factory, I think. And I can also put in the clothing factory. So that means that the industry area that we have over on this end of the city can kind of continue to grow. So that's good. That makes me kind of happy. Let's see what we got to play with. So this is the electronics factory, which is bloody huge. This is the clothing factory, which is, it's a bit of a chunker, but it's not quite as bad. And then the household plastic factory is actually a pretty reasonable size. So let's start with the household plastic factory. And let's go ahead and put it right there. And I'm going to have to detail around that to make it look a little bit less weird, but that's fine. So that factory can live there. Let's go ahead and look at the other ones then. So this is the electronics one, which is enormous. I think it's going to have to go there, because that is about the only place that it's really gonna fit. And even there, it doesn't really fit. What if we turn it around this way? So if we put it about there, that works a bit better. We're gonna need some keys along there, but that definitely works better. And then the other one was what? It was the clothing factory. Now the clothing factory fits in there pretty well. I think it is going to cut away. Yeah, it is going to cut away at the terrain a little bit much. So what if we were to try something here? If we get rid of you, and if I bring a little road off of here, and I make sure that road is nice and level, which it currently might not be. It absolutely is now. Can I put the clothing factory here? Yeah, I absolutely can do that. Let me go in and take out some trees as well, just while I am in the area. So take all of those guys out. I think the clothing factory is going to need shuffled along by 2 parts, so I can put a nice key in there. But then that ever so slightly messes with the road over here, so maybe not. Maybe we shuffle it back over by 1. And then we kind of need to figure out just how exactly I'm going to make this key work, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I used this one for everywhere else. I kind of need a thinner one for this, especially back here. Okay, some changes later, and I think this area is kind of looking interesting, I gotta say. We've got a few different factories in here. I still haven't done anything with this one, but this one's been surrounded in keys, and I think it looks kind of interesting, sunken down like that. It's a little bit weird. Definitely a little bit weird. But I kind of like it. I think I'll probably tweak some of the keys at some point to be a bit more like this over here, where we have a few sharper edges and all of that. But I like it. I like that we have these different levels going on. I like that we have all these factories in here. I just like it. And what's more is this is now a level 3 drilling area, which is fantastic. It needs more production till it gets level 4. It needs more oil to keep up with production here. It needs more oil to keep up with production here. So I guess what we can do is go in and have a look at putting in some of these large oil pumps right here. So one there, one there, one there, and one there. Seems like a pretty solid idea if you ask me. And we can go there and there as well, and there as well. So that's just going to give us some ridiculous amounts of oil production for the area. We are absolutely storing plenty of it as well, which I absolutely adore. But my plan for this area, I know it looks really uninspired right now. My plan, I should probably explain a little bit further, is that we are going to turn this area into one that is completely about offshore oil drilling, essentially. We're going to do it all offshore, and then all of this space is going to be rebuilt and turned into refineries and factories and all that good stuff. Because I'm also kind of keen to put something like, wow, a toy factory. I've just realized we need paper. We need a forestry area. is what we need. But I'm keen to put more, you know, factories and refineries in this area as well. I think that would look kind of cool. And I just think it's kind of cool having this weird looking thing out here. We could turn this into just a, I don't know. I feel like we'd need to figure out what way the water's flowing and then probably put some more stuff out here. But I just like it. I just think it's a little bit interesting. It's a little bit industrial for the middle of nowhere. So I might expand it along the coast a little bit. But once we get this thing up to the level that I want it to be, that's when this whole area is going to get sort of redeveloped into something a bit more interesting. But this up here, I'm liking how this is going. And to be totally honest, I'm thinking what we can do is we can come in here with some normal sections of road. And basically, I'm feeling like we could just do some zoning in here. I don't think that's going to be a terrible idea. So if I was to go somewhere like here, for example, and then turn off the grid snapping so it's not super weird. In fact, about, let's see, here would be even better. We could just have some really cool zoning in here. So bring that up to there, for example. Bring you out to there. And that gives us some zoning right along the key there. I could bring a road off of here up to about that point. And that'll give us some zoning in there too. And then we can just have some normal traffic, you know, coming around this area doing its thing. And I think that'll be pretty cool. So let's just go ahead and do that. Let's also turn off zoning on some of these sections of road because it's a little bit weird. For example, there probably doesn't need zoning. And I don't think any of this space really needs zoning either. So turn off all of that. Turn off you. That bit can stay, even though I'm probably not going to do anything with it. And just for the sake of filling in this gap, we're going to do something like this as well. So just like that. There we go. And yeah, let's just fill in this area with some industry. Or what about warehouses? I could do more warehouses. We don't really have the room for a medium one there. We do have room for this one though, which I think is kind of neat looking. We can't really fit it there, but we'll do there. I think that's pretty nice. And then this can just store, we could do petroleum. We could do plastics. We'll just have this store plastics since plastics are going to be getting used in the area. And yeah, the rest of it is just going to be generic industry. So fill up all of this with just a smattering of, good word, smattering of, that was really overpronounced, I'm going to be honest. But just a bit of industry in there. Maybe not along there, but just in here to fill up the space. There we go. Okay. So that gives us a proper refinery. Gives us large tanks as well. Maintenance building, drilling rig, and all that. What do we need for level 5? That's the question. Almost got the employees. It's going to take a little while with production, but that's fine. Let's just take a look and see what we have here. So this is the large drilling rig, which, let's see, it could go at the end there. What if we were to just take these guys out, extend this road to about there, and say this and this can live right at the end there. So we got the large drilling rigs. And then if we were to just move you in a little bit, and if we were to just put you there and there, that gives us the large drilling rigs working, which is fantastic news. And I think I could probably put a few of these large oil pumps just in here as well. So something a bit like that, I think will be pretty good for us. Now, what else do we have? So this is the sludge thing. This is the petrochemical plant. This is the waste oil refining plant. Now, do I have these already? What are these? So this is a step up from these guys, and it's about the same size as well. A little bit, well, it's more or less the same size. I guess we could throw some of those in. This is the storage cavern for oil. I don't really think I want to put a storage cavern out here. This is oil industry storage. Can be placed outside industry area. Okay, now that's got me interested in putting it over here. I'm going to be honest, because it's a cool looking building. So I could store oil right in the middle of this entire area. So just like that. Which, I'll be honest, I kind of like the idea of doing. So let's just move you down a little bit with move it so those fences are together. And there we go. We have oil being stored right in the middle of this this entire area, which I think is kind of neat. So we'll have those guys live in there. And in terms of other things, we have these large tanks. Now, can they fit down here at all? They sort of can. So we'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take out this road. We'll take out you guys. And we'll just go ahead and say 1, 2, and I guess a small one could live next to them. I don't really know about that. Let's have you on the other side of the road. So, ooh, that actually gives a nice bit of symmetry too. Can I put some parking lots in here? So 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we have like this little space in the middle, which is interesting looking. I kind of like that. And I guess if I really wanted to with the smaller bits of storage, it can just go sort of out here, which apparently I can't build on water, so we'll leave a bit of a gap between them and just do something like that. And I kind of dig it. I like that. That's a fair chunk of storage is what that is. Now, what are you guys complaining about? Not enough buyers for products. Well, that's probably okay. We're not going to worry. We're not going to worry too much about buyers for products right now. The thing I'm kind of most interested in is just getting this leveled up. So we're more or less halfway to production. We've more or less got the workers. We can have over 2,000 of them. So no major worries there. It's kind of just a waiting game at this point. So while waiting for things to kind of improve around here a little bit, I did get slightly bored and I did decide to go ahead and put in this cargo train terminal, which I think looks kind of interesting. It just sort of slopes up here real slow like and eventually connects with the other train lines, which is beautiful. I might put some keys along this, but I kind of like the rocks, to be totally honest. This side's a lot less interesting. It just immediately goes underground and then, you know, appears here all magical like and then reconnects here so it can branch out and do its thing, which honestly, I feel like I probably could have extended the tunnel section there had it come out here and reconnect over here somewhere, which might be a lot more interesting to do. So let's actually do that. Let's get rid of all of you because it doesn't need to be able to go here. At least I don't think it does. It doesn't need to go there in my opinion anyway. And also looking at all of this, there's not enough uneducated workers. We really need to get some population growth going around here at some point. But I think we can focus on that in the next episode is what we can do. So let's go ahead and extend these train lines so they come out something like this. And then what we can do is have train lines sort of come around like so. Now those don't connect together very nicely at all there. Can I fix that? There we go. So that's a little bit better. This can go like that. And then we're just going to try and merge it about there. Not the neatest merge that I could have done. In fact, you know what? I'm going to try and merge it up about there. So bring you back and then have you go like that. So it's going to merge there kind of at the last minute. Probably going to be a nightmare for traffic on this road. But it does give me train lines running alongside each other, which I just happen to really enjoy. I just think it looks really cool. So that's what we're going to do. And then what we'll do is bring this guy just nicely underground. So minus 12 meters there and bring it straight underneath absolutely everything straight along here. And essentially we can just have a nice little curve here. And there we go. Now, it is very steep under there. It is a bit, you know, wibbly wobbly, trainy, wainy. But that's fine. That's totally fine. We'll have the train lines running alongside each other. It's going to be a nightmare for traffic there, but it's going to look cool and industrial and all that good stuff. So yeah, I kind of like this. I also like that that is going to be a way to bring more traffic to this area. That might be something we want to potentially avoid doing. If I'm honest, we might actually want to be like, hey, traffic, don't do that. But we'll see is what we'll do. We'll also set up these junctions a little differently there, just so we can have more traffic going, you know, around the area than we currently do. I think we could probably set up a little bit of an asymmetrical highway road over here as well. That is going to need flipped around though. So something a bit like that with some lane management just like so. And that'll hopefully let the traffic sort of come and go a little bit easier there. But it does seem like we're getting a lot of farm traffic coming in, which I am not so sure how to feel about. But it's whatever. It's not a huge deal. And we are really close to the 13,000 that we need there. We are getting a really nice, healthy profit from the drilling area as well. So once we get the offshore drilling for this space, we can absolutely go ahead and we can absolutely start putting it in there, changing the area up a little bit, getting rid of the terrible looking snow, which I will say, you know, I say it's terrible looking. It looks beautiful in the hills up here. It doesn't look so good down here. That's all I'm saying. And then we can go in and I think next episode, to be honest, I'm just going to fill up all of these farms. I'm not going to do the entire thing in the episode. Maybe I'll time lapse it. Maybe that would be a way to do it. You know, make a time lapse out of building the farms. But I think next time we can focus on actually making this look the way I want it to look. We can actually finish up the farms. I'm going to put more of them in, but finish up the ones that we have. And I think I want to start building up this area as well. So next episode's going to be pretty busy, I reckon, because we're going to try and get good population. We're going to try and finish off the oil industry down there. We're going to try and get a really nice chunk of agricultural industry. And if we have time, we'll start planning out some forestry as well. Forestry, by the way, I'm looking at this space out here and thinking this would be good for forestry. And then maybe what we could do. Oh, I'll tell you what we could do. Since this little town here is going to have people going out to the oil industry and to the farming and to the ore. I mean, the city does as well. We could build a little town out here, kind of like a slightly smaller version of this one. I actually really like the idea of doing that. I think that'd be fantastic. And I mean, this whole thing, this whole map is turning into more of a region anyway. You know, with a little town here, city over here, little town out there by the lake as well. I think that would be beautiful. So yeah, forestry out here by the lake, little town. Mwah, it's going to be fantastic is what it's going to be. I'm actually really excited. So yeah, that's what we can get to in the next episode. But I think that'll do us for today. I feel like this has been a weird episode. I feel like there's been a lot of cutting and then a lot of like, okay, so I built this. But a lot of the stuff I have built was just very tedious, like carefully placing roads or trying to just get the tedious little train line in there. I think this is cool though. This episode is laying the foundation for what's going to come next, and I'm so excited for it. So, what can I say? Thank you so much for watching. It's been my absolute pleasure, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.